Hello students, welcome to mathematics class. Students, this is part 2 of the chapter linear equations in two variables. In this part 2, we will learn about the meaning of linear equations in two variable as a continuation of our previous part 1, wherein which we learned about linear equations in one variable. And after understanding the linear equations in two variables, we will solve the questions from the exercise 4.1. Children, coming to the linear equations in two variable, an equation of degree 1 with two or more variables is known as linear equation. If it is having only two variables, then it is a linear equation in two variables. The general form of linear equation in two variables is ax plus by plus c equals to 0, where a is called coefficient of x, b is called coefficient of y, and c is called constant. These coefficients a and b of the variables x and y should not be 0. They are non-zero real numbers. This ABC belongs to real number set, means they are real numbers. Examples for linear equations in two variables. 6x plus 2y plus 5 equals to 0 is an example for this linear equations in two variables. Then this is an example of a linear equation in two variable. It is a customary to describe normally or to denote variables as x and y. But is it compulsory to use x and y only? No, it is not necessarily to use x and y only. It is as a part of customary we normally use x and y. We can have even some other letters as variables. So some examples of linear equations in two variables with different variables. Let me take it. 1.2s plus 3 times t equals to 5 is a linear equation in the variable s and t. P plus 4q equals to 7 is a linear equation in the variables p and q. Pi into u plus 5 into v equals to 9 is a linear equation in the variables u and v. 3 equals to 2x minus 7y is a linear equation in the variable x and y. Can we write them in the generalized form of linear equation in two variables? That is a into variable x, our first variable, plus b into y, that is b into second variable, plus c equals to 0. In this form, can we put these equations into that form? Yes. How means 1.2 times of the variable s plus 3 times of the variable t, and this 5 which can be treated as addend to the 0, and 5 plus 0 if I consider, it doesn't change the value of 5. Now I can bring this addend 5 from the other side of equality to the left side, which becomes subtrahend. So it gives us minus 5 equals to 0. So this is how we can write the given equation in generalized form of linear equation in two variables. Now you could observe in this equation the value of a as 1.2, that is coefficient of the first variable, and coefficient of the second variable, that is b, being 3, and constant term c being -5. How this -5 comes? Because I write the given equation as 1.2 times of s plus 3 times of t, where plus of minus 5, this plus of minus 5 equals to 0, where plus of minus 5, when I remove the bracket, this becomes -5 only. That's how this looks like C, this looks like B, and this looks like A in the generalized equation where the variables are S and T. So that's how this constant term is -5. Now let us write the rest of three equations in the generalized form. That is, first one 1.2 times of s plus 3 times of t minus 5 equals to 0. Second one p plus 4q minus 7 equals to 0, where there is nothing as a coefficient of p, means it is 1. So the coefficient of p is 1, coefficient of q is 4, and constant term is -7. So we write, if I want to say a is 1, b is 4, and c is -7 in this equation. Then third equation is pi times of u plus 5 times of v minus 9 equals to 0, where coefficient of u is pi, coefficient of v is plus 5, and constant is -9. And last equation can be written as 2x minus 7y minus 3, this plus 3 here can be considered as addend of addend to the 0, and when it is addend brought to the other side of equality becomes subtrahend. So that's how in this equation you have got 2x minus 7y minus 3 equals to 0, giving you coefficient of x as 2, coefficient of b, that is coefficient of y variable, is -7, and constant term being -3. Now with this understanding we shall go for the equations. Any equation which can be put in the form of ax plus by plus c equals to 0, where a, b, c are real numbers and a and b are not both zeros, is called a linear equation in two variables. Any equation which can be put in the form of this will be called as linear equation in two variables, with the conditions that coefficients of the variables and constant being real numbers, and coefficient of the variables being non-zero real numbers. Okay, with this understanding and definition of linear equation in two variable, you can write down like this by passing the screen, and we will go for solving example questions. Example 1, write each of the following equations in the form of ax plus by plus c equals to 0 and indicate the values of a, b, and c in each case. Just now we did an exercise work. We did for those examples the work what we wanted for the example 1. So first one, in this 2 times x plus 3 times y, that is coefficient of x is 2, coefficient of y is 3, and minus 4.37 equals to 0. I took this as addend to 0, and 4.37 I brought it the other side, which became subtrahend. Therefore a is 2, b is 3, and constant C is minus 4.37. Similarly, we will write for the second one where x is not having any coefficient, means it is 1, minus root 3y. When I bring it the other side, it becomes subtrahend minus root 3y minus 4, and it is considered as addend to 0, so the other side of equality 0 is left over. Therefore, now coefficient of x, which is a, is 1, coefficient of y, which is minus root 3, and constant is minus 4. Now continuation of the example 1, sub question 3 is 4 equals to 5x minus 3y can be written as 5x minus 3y. This plus 4 can be treated as addend to 0, and that plus 4, if it comes the other side of equality, becomes minus 4 equal to, so in one side of equality we have 0, another side whole equation. So therefore coefficient of x is 5, coefficient of y is minus 3, and constant is minus 4. Now fourth equation, this 2x equals to y can be written as 2x minus y, plus there is no constant term, so it can be treated as plus 0 equals to 0. So constant is 0 in this equation, where coefficient of x is 2 and coefficient of y, that is b, is minus 1. So we have got a value being 2, b value being minus 1, and c value being 0. So children, now moving on to the further equation of the type ax plus by plus c equals to 0, where linear equation in two variables, in the variables x and y, writing it, given equation in that form and telling the value of a and b, c we saw. Now we are seeing equations of the type ax plus b equals to 0, where linear equation in one variable, someone asks you to compulsory write it in the linear equation in two variables form. As a force, if someone tells you to, or if it is compulsory to write, somebody asks you to compulsory write the given linear equation in one variable in the form of linear equation in two variables, we normally express it as a times of x, because coefficient of x is there and constant term is b, and coefficient of y is missing. If I bring it as a 0, it makes no change to this equation. So here coefficient of the another variable is becoming 0. That's why it is linear equation in two variables turned into linear equation in one variable. So now we are doing in a reverse form, writing given linear equation in one variable in the form of linear equation in two variable by bringing the other variable and writing its coefficient as 0. For example, 4 minus 3x equals to 0 can be written as minus 3 times of x plus 0 times of y plus 4 equals to 0. Similarly, let's go for writing. In the example number 2, write each of the following equations in two variables. They gave only linear equation in one variable and we are forced to write in the form of linear equation in two variables. Here x equals to minus 5 can be taken minus 5 plus 0, where addend to 0. This minus 5, when I bring it the other side, it becomes plus 5 equals to 0. Now x has coefficient 1, there is no variable y, so we are bringing 0 times of y plus 5 equals to 0. This is the equation 1. Whereas in equation 2, x variable is missing, so 0 times of x plus 1 time of y, this plus 2, when I treat it as addend to 0, this 2 if I bring it the other side, it becomes subtrahend, so minus 2 equals to 0. This is the linear equation in 2 variable form for the given linear equation in 1 variable by bringing the other variable and it's writing a coefficient of it as 0. Now continuation of the second example, we have sub question 3. In sub question 3, variable x is there, so 2 times of x plus 0 times of y, this plus equal to 3 is treated as 3 plus 0, that is addend to 0, and 3 is brought the other side, which becomes subtrahend. So 2 times x plus 0 times y minus 3 equals to 0 is the linear equation in 2 variable form for the given third question. Now fourth question, variable x is missing, so its coefficient is treated as 0, so 0 times x plus 5 times y, and this plus 2 becomes minus 2 equals to 0. Now children, I explained you example 1 and example 2. Based on this, we have got exercise 4.1. Coming to the exercise 4.1, the first question, cost of a notebook is twice the cost of a pen. Cost of a notebook is twice the cost of a pen. Write a linear equation in 2 variables to represent this statement. As a part of hint, take the cost of a notebook as rupees x and that of a pen to be rupees y. Now if the cost of a notebook is x equal to, and cost of a pen is y, and 2 times of that rupees y is equals to x. Now we have written this linear equation in 2 variables form. But if I wanted to write it in standard form or generalized form, it becomes 1 times of x minus 2 times of y plus 0, where constant is not there, plus 0 equals to 0 is the generalized form. Now moving on to the question number 2. Question number 2, express the following linear equations in the form of ax plus by plus c equals to 0 and indicate the values of a, b and c in each case. Sub question 1, so 2x plus 3y equals to 9.35 bar. So it can be written as 2 times x plus 3 times y minus 9.35 bar, only 5 bar, equals to 0, where coefficient of x is 2, that is the value of a, coefficient of y is 3, that is treated as b, and c is minus 9.35 bar, which is a constant term. And similarly we can write it in the second one, 1 time of x minus 1 by 5 times of y, where plus of minus 1 by 5, here minus 10 equals to 0, so this is minus. So the value of a is 1, value of b is minus 1 by 5 and value of c is minus 10. That is coefficient of x, coefficient of y and constant term. This is how we write. Now sub questions 3 and 4. In the sub question 3, minus 2x plus 3y minus 6 equals to 0, we can write it. This equation in generalized form where a value is minus 2, b value is 3 and c value is minus 6. And in sub question 4, 1 time of x minus 3 times of y plus 0 equals to 0. So coefficient of x is 1, coefficient of y is minus 3 and constant is 0. Now moving on to the sub questions 5 and 6. In sub question 5, 2x plus 5y plus 0 equals to 0, because this minus 5 is treated as addend to 0 and minus 5y, when it is transposed the other side, it becomes plus 5y. Therefore value of a is 2, value of b is 5 and constant term c is 0. In sub question 6, 3x plus y value is missing, y term is missing, so 0 times of y plus 2 equals to 0. So it's a linear equation in one variable. We brought it into the linear equation in two variable. Coefficient of x is 3, coefficient of y is 0, constant term is plus 2. Now moving on to the sub questions 7 and 8. In sub question 7, it's a linear equation in one variable and variable x is missing, so 0 times of x plus 1 time of y minus 2 equals to 0. Therefore coefficient of x is 0, that is the value of a, and coefficient of y is 1, that is the value of b, and constant term is minus 2. And sub question 8, it's again a linear equation in one variable, only the variable x is there, so 2 times x, and variable y is missing, so its coefficient is treated as 0, so 0 times y, and this plus 5 is treated as addend to 0 and brought the other side, it becomes minus 5 equal to 0. Therefore coefficient of x is 2, that is the value of a, and value of b is 0 since the coefficient of y is 0 and constant is minus 5. So with this we have completed exercise 4.1, and tomorrow we shall continue this topic from the solutions of linear equations in two variables. Till then, take care of yourself. Jai Hind. Thank you.